I just recently got back from D-Day, Ohio 2024, and I got a ton of World War II stuff at the event. Not only did I buy a bunch of stuff at the vendors who are set up there every year selling World War II stuff, and at the Reenactor blanket sale where event participants can sell off some of their extra gear to other reenactors, but I also met a ton of my subscribers at the event, some of whom gifted me things like letters, drawings, patches, and World War II gear. So in this video, I'm gonna go through all this stuff that I brought home from the event. If it's something I bought, I'll try to tell you how much I paid for it as long as I can remember. And if it's something that was gifted to me, I'll cover those items separately so you know that as well. There's also a few items in here that I'll try on or test out as I get to them. Now, as you may know, traveling to these reenactments is super expensive, not just because of all the stuff I buy, but traveling to the event and getting all the gear I need to participate really adds up. So I'd like to quickly thank Woox for sponsoring this video and supporting my mission to keep history alive. Woox is an outdoor gear company headquartered in Hickory, North Carolina that offers stocks, chassis, axes, and knives. As a big history nerd who can appreciate the old way of doing things, I just don't love the look and construction of some modern firearms from the factory, and that's why I love Woox. Take a look at my Remington 870 Tactical as I bought it, and compare that to the same shotgun with a Woox Gladiator kit installed. These kits from Woox are made with real wood, not composites, and they give your weapon a distinctive, timeless look. Woox uses raw natural materials sourced in a responsible, sustainable manner, and advanced technology throughout their supply chain and manufacturing process. If you're ready to upgrade your firearm, or you're looking for a knife or axe that's built the old-fashioned way and made to last, go click the link in the description and check out what Woox has to offer. When you order, be sure to use code WWW10 for 10% off your order. Now let's see what I bought. Oh, what's that? What's under here? Underwear. Underwear. The first thing I got is this original World War II underwear. There's a set of boxers here and an original tank top. I think I got both of these for $30 total, so I think that's a pretty good deal. These are both in great shape. I think these original undershirts look way better than a lot of the reproductions. There are some good reproduction undershirts out there, but some of the ones I see people wearing just don't really cut it. I don't often wear World War II boxers because, well, they have one big design flaw in my opinion, but it's nice to have a pair on hand that fits me in case I do want to wear them. Let me try this stuff on real quick so you can see how it looks. And yes, obviously I'm gonna wear some shorts or something under these boxers. I'm not insane. Give me just 1 second while I change out of this awesome World War Wisdom merchandise shirt that you can buy using the second link in the description to support my channel. All right, there you have it, my original World War II undergarments. These boxers have little ties on both the sides to snug them up a little bit if you need to. They didn't have the luxury of elastic waistbands back then, so that was the best you had. Now let's look at the next couple items I bought, which was more underwear. That's right, I also got a set of winter undergarments. So I got these long johns right here and this thermal undershirt. I do already own one winter undershirt in OD green. You might have seen me wear that in some of my other videos, but I've been looking for one in this color. They often call this color oatmeal. It's kind of a heathered white and gray color. And I also found these 1942 dated long johns that are in that same oatmeal color. So now I have a matching set of winter underwear. Let me quickly change into this winter stuff and show you how that looks. All right, so here's the long johns and thermal top that I got. The long johns were $15 and the top was $10. They fit really nicely. I know the sleeves are a little short on the top, but that's kind of where you want them for an undershirt like this. I've been looking out for a set of these in this color for a while now, and online for some reason they're always really expensive. So I think paying 25 bucks for both of these is a pretty good steal. These are made of wool and they're actually pretty comfortable. Maybe they're a little bit scratchy, but nothing too bad. They'll definitely be really warm for those winter events that I go to. I'm gonna sit back down so we can look at the rest of this stuff, but I'm not taking this off. It's pretty comfortable and I think it's kind of funny looking, so it's staying on. All right, this next item might be my favorite thing I purchased at the event. It's this Cattaraugus 225Q World War II era fighting knife. This knife is super cool. I love how thick the blade is on these. When you hold it, it's like really weighty, even compared to something like a World War II era K-bar knife. This thing is just built like a tank. This has been on my list of knives that I want for a while now, but if I'm being honest, like every World War II fighting knife is on that list, so I'm just buying them as I come across them. I paid 50 bucks for this knife and the scabbard. It's in great shape, and I think that's a really good deal for a knife like this. Some people call this the quartermaster knife. It is a myth that this knife was specifically made for the quartermasters. This was just a general utility and fighting knife. You see a lot of soldiers carrying these in combat, and they also made way more of them than they would need just to outfit the quartermasters, so that doesn't really make any sense. But I'm sure the quartermasters did end up using these along with other knives because they'd be very useful. I love these World War II era fighting knives. I just think they're awesome, and I still need some more of them to round out my collection. So if you have a fighting knife you want to sell me for a good price, I guess hit me up. Next up, I got a bunch of straps. Yay, how exciting. I was making a joke, but I do think these straps are very exciting. The first one I got here is a GP strap, or general purpose strap. I got this to use on my GP bag that I have here. I did not buy this at the D-Day reenactment, but I did buy it on eBay for the D-Day reenactment. I was walking around to all the vendors looking for a strap like this that had D-rings on both sides. The early GP bags and the Musette bags had clips on them, so you can just clip them onto those D-rings and sling it over your shoulder. I only had one of the later style GP straps that has clips instead of D-rings on it, and that later war one wouldn't have been appropriate to use for the D-Day reenactment. I don't know if they had any of those by the time D-Day happened. If they did, they weren't very common. So I knew I needed to buy one of these to round out my impression, and thankfully I found one at the event. The next thing I got here are these US Marine Corps P41 suspenders. These suspenders are in super nice shape. I really don't know much about Marine Corps gear, and if you're wondering if this means I'm putting together a Marine Corps impression and I'm gonna start doing Marine Corps stuff, maybe, but not necessarily. I just saw them for a good price and bought them because I thought they were cool. One of these suspenders is named. It has someone's information stamped on it here. I did a quick Google search and couldn't find anybody by this name, but I'll do some more digging and see if I can figure out who owned these. I paid $30 total for these suspenders and this GP strap. I think they were marked as $20 each, but I went up to the guy selling them and asked, would you take $35 for these instead of $40? And he said, yeah, I'll take $30 for those. So I don't know if the guy didn't hear me well, or if he just wanted to give me a good deal, or maybe he doesn't know how negotiating works. But in any case, I appreciated it because I got a great deal on that stuff. The next thing I got is this World War II M44 upper pack and M44 lower pack. This is a pack system used towards the end of World War II. The M44 system was used for a relatively short time before they switched to the M45 system. And the M45 system is the exact same bags, they just have different straps to connect the two bags, so they're a little bit different. Because of that, when they switched from the M44 to the M45 pack system, they took a lot of these M44 packs, cut the straps off them, and then sewed on the M45 straps so they would become M45 packs. That can make it really hard for collectors like me to find M44 packs that haven't been updated to that M45 spec with new straps. I actually found both of these packs separately at the event. This upper pack was $20 or $25, and I happily did that. That's a great deal. The upper does have a couple of the straps cut off, not the ones that connect the two bags that I was talking about, but some of the straps on the side that could be used to connect your bedroll, and one of the straps that's used to connect these to the suspenders. The pack's still totally usable without those straps though, so I'm really not worried about it. It also had these little clips sewn onto the straps. Normally the strap would look just like this, and you would weave this into a buckle on your suspenders and wear the pack that way. I'm assuming after World War II somebody sewed these little straps with buckles on so they could clip it on the bottom here and wear this more like a backpack. But that's an easy fix. I can just cut the threads out here, take this strap off, and it'll be back to its original configuration. This lower pack I found at the Reenactor blanket sale. It has some staining and stuff on it, but honestly, who cares? It has every one of the connection straps intact, which is really rare to find on one of these lower packs. I paid $20 or $25 for this lower pack as well, so I paid around 45 bucks for the whole system, which I think is a great deal for an M44 pack set. If you were wondering, these straps connecting the two bags are quick release straps, so you can quickly just pull the tabs on all of them and then separate the two packs if you wanted to ditch the lower one and just wear the upper pack. Those quick release straps must not have worked that well though, because like I was saying, they replaced them really quickly with those M45 straps. And the last thing I bought at the event were these little ration heating tablets. I didn't really have any need for these, but they were 4 for $1, 25 cents each, and they're 1945 dated. What can you even buy for 25 cents these days? I couldn't pass that up. These will make a great display item. I can also use them, but I did have a friend buy these and say that they kept going out when they tried to light them and use them. So I'll give them a try, but at 4 for $1, I was gonna buy them no matter what. I don't care if they work or not. So that's it for the stuff I purchased at the event. By my calculation, I spent somewhere around $180 if I'm remembering everything correctly. But you know how it is. Sometimes you lock eyes with a beautiful World War II fighting knife or something like that, and your wallet comes out and then the rest is just a blur. Next, I'll go through all this stuff that was generously gifted to me at the event. I never expect people to just give me stuff for free, and like you saw, I'm not opposed to buying things for myself. But it really was so kind and thoughtful for people to bring things to the event to give to me, and it just warms my heart knowing that people out there who I've never met before would do something so kind for me. As you'll see in a minute here, I was gifted some really thoughtful stuff, like items I can add to my collection, some stuff I can use at reenactments in the future, and even some art and drawings, which is super cool to me. I also got a bunch of really thoughtful letters and notes. I won't be showing those on camera today because I don't know if the people who wrote those wanted them to be shown publicly or if those were just for me, so I'm gonna keep them to myself. But if you gave me a note or a letter, know that I really appreciate that, and I do keep those around and read through them pretty often. All right, let's start going through this stuff. One more note though before I get started. I'm not gonna mention who gave me any of these things because again, I don't know if people wanted that information to be public. And also I'm gonna group things together by the type of item for the video. So just know some of these things were given to me by the same people. I'm just not gonna break them up by who gave them to me because I think it makes more sense to do it this way. First up, I was given this World War II US pistol belt. You can never have enough of these in your collection, and I wear these all the time at reenactments. It's my size and it's in really nice shape, so I'm happy to be able to add this to my collection. After that, we have this US Navy gas mask bag. I actually didn't own one of these yet. This one is dated 1942. I find it interesting the way these bags close. It's not like any other gas mask I've ever dealt with. Definitely another great addition to my collection. Next up are these reproduction M42 paratrooper jump pants. You guys know I do a World War II paratrooper impression sometimes at reenactments, so these will definitely come in handy. A World War II PX style garrison cap, that's the private purchase one with the squared off edges. And this one has the blue piping for infantry, which is perfect since that's what I usually reenact. The next thing I was gifted is this awesome 1930s camera. This is one of those accordion style cameras. So you kind of open up the front and then slide this part out like that and say cheese. It seems like everything on this camera is still in working order. I've really wanted to get into film photography so I can take some period style photos at reenactments. I have no idea if this camera will work for that. I think it should though. All the parts are there. As long as I can find film for it and there aren't any small tears that I can't see in this fabric right here that would let light into the camera, I think it should work. I'll have to talk to some of my friends who do film photography and get their input on this. Either way, this is an awesome item to add to my collection. It looks like the patent date on this is 1910, but when I was doing some research, it seems like these were popular in the 1930s. So I'll have to do some more research on this camera and figure out when this one was made and how it works and everything. Next up, I have a few items that were gifted to me by reenactors who had recently been over to Normandy for the 80th anniversary. So it's a jar of sand, a shell that's only found in that region, and this piece of stone, all from the beaches of Normandy. Next up, I got this smoke grenade. It's one of the pull pin ones. It looks really nice. I was actually given this by another reenactor right before one of the battles, and then I didn't get the chance to throw it in that battle. I figured no big deal, I'll use it tomorrow. But then the next day's event was canceled due to weather, so now I have a smoke grenade to throw at the next reenactment I go to. Somebody gave me these sweet 3D printed brass knuckles. I love that design. I was also gifted this hand painted model of a US World War II soldier. That'll look really cool on my desk. Someone gave me a custom World War Wisdom dog tag. That's pretty sweet. And another reenactor made me these awesome World War Wisdom 80th anniversary D-Day reenactment patches. It's a really cool design. They have Kilroy on there and everything. And speaking of Kilroy, I got a 3D printed Kilroy keychain. Someone gave me an Altoid tin. I also got this 1942 Reichspfennig or Reich penny. These were just the Third Reich's 1-cent coin, so a really cool item for my collection. I also got a ton of cool patches and pins, like these flag patches, a specialist rank tab, a shoulder board, I think this one's German, a ribbon and an engineer's pin, this staff sergeant shoulder board, a 1st Infantry Division patch, that's who I was representing at the event, a reproduction German patch, and a name tab that has my last name on it, Smith. I also got this Air Corps patch that belonged to the great-grandfather of the person who gave me this. They flew B-17s, so that's pretty incredible. They also put a shell casing in there for me too, and again, a letter, which I'm not gonna show on here. And then I got some incredible art here from fans. There's a drawing of a fighter plane, a really intricate drawing of some British soldiers with a tank behind them, and then a bunch of cool drawings here, one of which is a reference to my business in the front, party in the back Kettenkrad shirt. I thought that was really funny. And the final thing I got is this World War II wool sleeping bag. This is the infamous bag, sleeping, wool that I talked about in my most hated gear episode. If you haven't seen that video, definitely go watch it. There's a lot more info in there. But basically, soldiers on the front lines didn't like to use these sleeping bags because if they got attacked at night and they were zipped up inside the sleeping bag, it could be tough to quickly get out and grab your weapon when you needed to. How long would it take you to get out of one of these? Well, I don't know, but I think now that I have one, we should test it out and find out for ourselves. All right, I am going to get nice and cozy inside my wool sleeping bag here. I'm gonna twist myself around to simulate rolling around in my sleep and getting that zipper behind my back where it might be hard to reach. And then I'll wiggle around and try to get out of here, and we'll see how long it takes me to fully unzip this thing, take it all the way off, and grab my rifle. All right, let's do this thing. Man, it's hot in here. This thing does its job. All right, I'm pretty well wiggled around in this thing, so on the count of 3, I'm gonna do my best to get out like I just got woken up by an enemy attack in the night. 1, 2, 3. Oh. 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 Who's there? All right, not too shabby. Oh. Oh. I inhaled so much wool in that thing, it's kind of gross. All right, now a lot of the guys were saying they'd rather just have a blanket or 2 on them. So let's put a blanket over me and try that test again and compare the times. I'll even roll myself up in there a little bit to stay warm, and then I'll count to 3 again and we'll see how long it takes me to get my rifle. All right, 1, 2, 3. All right, that was a lot faster. To be exact, it was this many seconds faster. I'll time it and add that in post. That definitely felt like enough to make the difference between life or death in a situation where every second counts. So it's easy to see why guys wouldn't want to sleep in these things on the front lines. All right, that's all I've got for today, guys. For all of you who stopped by at D-Day, Ohio to say hi to me or even give me some of that stuff, thank you so much. I can't tell you how much I appreciate that, and getting to meet all of you was just such an incredible experience. It just makes me really happy knowing that there are so many of you out there who care about history the way I do. I've gotten to do so much cool stuff because of my page, and none of that would have been possible without all of you out there supporting my content. So with that said, thanks guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Oh, ooh, that wasn't supposed to happen.